Welcome to On The Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Good day.
That's good, mate. It's Derby Day, the best day of racing on the Australian racing calendar.
Can't wait.
Christmas Day for the punters.
Ripper.
4 Group 1s, 2 Group 2s, 3 Group 3s. Just an amazing day of racing. So we'll get straight into it because there's a lot to get through today. The first Group 1 is obviously the $1.5 million Victoria Derby for 3-year-olds at set weights over 2,500 metres. And who do you like in the Derby, Lenny?
Well, Dave, I think you talk to anyone and they'd be tipping Sacred Elixir.
Yep.
I'm going to go against him. I'm going to stick with the horse that we probably were both on in the Vase and Sosi Bond.
Yep.
Probably one thing with this horse, I think he wants Flemington.
Yeah.
He's been at Caulfield, he's been at the Valley, and although he's ran really well, I think he's a big track horse and he's crying out for Flemington. And I think that the 2,500 metres is really going to suit him. The 2,500 metre start at Flemington isn't great. It's probably the worst start in Victoria.
Yeah.
And he's drawn 11, but I think there's good speed inside him. I think he should be able to tuck in and get some cover and be able to relax. There's also a key engagement of Hugh Bowman on him, who's probably the best staying jock in Australia. So if anyone's going to help the horse relax and get the trip, it's him. And obviously Robbie Lang got the winner a couple of years ago. With Hugh Bowman on board, so he's done it before. They're teaming up again, so he's at $9. So I'm into him each way. Sosi Bond.
And I think Robbie said he didn't like the rain affected track last week. So the dry track this week, 24 degrees on Derby Day, the track will be superb. The favourite's got to be hard to beat here. Gets all the favourites from barrier 1. Won't have to do any work in the run. Zach Purden aboard. Sprint home from the 300 metre mark. He'll be strong at the end. A son of Paul Mott. What is it? Paul Mott. Who himself won an Epsom Derby. You should get on YouTube and watch the replay of that Epsom Derby. It's a fantastic finish with Barcelona up in his irons before he's even hit the lead. Very hard to see him getting beat because he's got the right kind of profile to run out the Derby distance strongly. I like the form of Swear coming into this race, the son of the mighty Reduce's Choice. He was second to Yankee Rose in the Spring Champion 3 weeks ago. And off the back of Yankee Rose running so well last week in the Cox Plate, I thought it was a strong form line for this race. He's drawn barrier 10, gets about 4 or 5 lengths off the speed. I think he gets a nice run. Still a bit raw, but there's potential to be a good stay, even though he's bred to be a sprinter. And I think he'll like Flemington. Sosi Bond, still got to be a big chance. It's hard to see him really reversing the placings against Sacred Elixir, but he's got to be one of the strong chances, and obviously Hugh Bowman's a bonus. And I think a horse with loads of ability but still immature and raw at the moment is Inference. They put a one-eyed blinker on him this week. He sort of was hanging in a lot last time, and that's just to try and make him race truer. He's another son of So You Think, like Sosi Bond. Yeah. And he's drawn out barrier 20. He comes into 16 with the emergencies. He'll probably drift back. But he's a horse I think will love Flemington. He'll run on very strongly, and he's a blowout chance at about $16 to $20 if he can get over his greenness. The second Group 1 is the $500,000 Coolmore Stud Stakes for 3-year-olds. Again, over 1,200 metres, and this is down the Flemington Straight, mate.
It is, Dave. Race of the spring. Probably.
It is, probably, yeah.
You might not see a better Coolmore in 10, 20 years. That's unbelievable. I don't think there's really much between Extreme Choice, Astern Flying Artie, and Star Turn, and that's probably being unfair to the Golden Slipper winner Capitalist and the unbeaten Russian Revolution. Yeah. But I think that's how good the top 4 are. I think whoever handles the straight the best out of them will win.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Astern because I think he's a superstar. I think he's a very, very good colt. John O'Shea thinks he's the best he's trained. He's ever trained, and he's trained some good ones. I think there's going to be some speed in this. There's some horses that go quick, which will suit this horse's turn of foot. He did win the Golden Rose over 1,400, and you really want a sort of 1,400 metre horse down the straight 6 at Flemington, so I think that's going to suit him as well. So Astern for me on top.
I thought the run of Star Turn was pretty impressive last start. The Scalacci at Caulfield, he beat a good field of open class sprinters, beat Malaguerra. Very convincing, I thought he was, and I think 3 weeks leading into this race is a perfect break for him. His only defeat this prep was at the hands of a Stern, as you like, and probably not the best ride from Tommy Berry that day that got him beat though, and there wasn't much between them. He's had plenty of experience on the Melbourne leg, and I think he looks like a horse that will be suited to the straight track racing. He's drawn barrier 4, so he's got the speed to either go to the inside or the outside from that spot. So I think he'll just camp off the speed and make a run to the outside, inside, whichever is favourite on the day. And I thought the 440, I thought he was on the bit in the Coolmore. The third Group 1 is the $1 Million Cantala Stakes, a handicap over 1,600 metres. Now this is the old Emirates that they brought forward a week, which is a good idea, I reckon, bringing this forward. McKinnon on the last day, which is now the Emirates, which is confusing.
I like it, Dave. I think it's a great move bringing it forward. It adds a bit more depth to the day rather than, McKinnon was a great race, but I think now being a week later, you've got those horses from the Cox Plate that are going to sort of back up or not back up, they've got 2 weeks in. But anyway, looking at this race, well, there's many chances in it. Tough race. I like Voodoo Lad as a horse. I think he's a pretty smart horse. He's going to step up to the mile here, which is a bit of a query, but he's got the racing pattern to suggest that he'd sort of get the mile. His Rupert Clark run in the group run was really good. I thought he went really well. His win on Caulfield Cup Day was he was in a league of his own. He did it pretty easily. Gets back to a handicap here. There's $13 about him. I can see him sort of being there, sort of midfield and using his turn of foot. But it is a race with a lot of chances. But each way $13 is on the bit for me.
It's a good price, really for a last start winner and a good race last start as well. There's not a lot separating a lot of these horses. I come back to Palantino in this race purely because I think he's a better horse racing at Flemington. He's won 2 Group 1 races at Flemington over the 1600. He's won 3 of his 4 starts there, and the other one he ran second to Tarzino in that. Forget his last run in the Epsom. He just didn't handle the reverse way of going and was never happy. Comes back to a race where he has to carry top weight, but he's drawn a nice barrier. Should get a nice run the race. There should be good speed in this race. And I think the brakes will open up and allow him to stretch out. Interesting, they've taken the blinkers off him this Saturday, but he did win the Australian Guineas earlier in the year without the blinkers, so he definitely goes well without them on. He's on the bid. He's $8.50. I thought he was on the bid. I thought good project to run well here. He's a Group 1 winner over the 1600s. Drawn a nice gate. He's on the drawn barrier 1. Should get a nice run behind the speed, which is going to be great esteem. He's stirred up. I think his fitness, he's just been getting his fitness up the first couple of starts. Got Zach Burton. He's still fought on again in that Voodoo Lad race, and he drops 5.5 kilos on that run. So I thought he was a blowout at the $20. And I still thought McIntosh should throw him in as well, because he's going to come across, sit behind Great Esteem. And they'll probably let Great Esteem go a bit harder in front, sit behind him with good project. He's got the Magic Man on board, who's won a big Group 1 at Flemington before. He'll start around $10. So I'd throw them both into your quaddies as well, because I think that you need to go wide in that leg. The last Group 1 is the Maya Classic for fillies and mares, a $500,000 race over 1,600 metres, and this is run at weight for age, which is good weight scar for. It
is. It gives those fillies,
3-year-old fillies, a couple of 3-year-old
Star and Co. They get in with 49, I think. Which gives them a chance. I'm sticking with my old fave, First Seal. She was back, Caulfield. She was probably a bit below par a few runs in the autumn, but was in top class company. Looks like she's come back really well. She wasn't really well off at the weights last start, and she comes in a lot better at the weights here in the weight for age. And beating some of her rivals last start, so I think she'll get a beautiful run from barrier 1, and I expect her to be hitting the line hard. She's top class at her best, and there's 440 on offer about her, and I'd be taking that.
Another tough race. I just thought Dixie Blossoms was a huge chance in this race. She's been around the money before breaking through last start. I think the key to her was riding her off the speed and getting out to the 1,600 metres last start. She'll love the big wide open spaces of Flemington. She gets a nice run midfield from barrier 4. She won't have to do much work early. I think there's a lot of upside about this filly. She's sprinted home in the fastest last 400 of the day in her last win. That was in every race of the day on that card. So really think this is a good race for her. The Sydney form has held up very strongly this spring. She comes across with very strong form lines, obviously through First Seal and the other Sydney fillies that have raced well over the last few weeks. So I thought she was on the bid at the 650. Stable news, Lenny. There's been a lot happening. What's been happening with Bluegrass, mate?
Bluegrass, one horse that we're not involved with anymore. One city race, Mio Dio, which was good to see, but he was a private purchase as a yearling or 2-year-old. So he's gone on won another city race, which is fantastic for the new trainer and connections, and also Laventi that we sent across to WA. That was a private purchase over here. He ran third at Ascot on Wednesday over a staying trip, and he looks to have a bright future over a trip over there.
Fantastic. We've had a few triallers in the last week or so. Dynamite, I told you last week was going to run. She's actually going to have another trial at Sandown on Wednesday. And then she'll run a week or so after that. Cornelia won a trial on Wednesday at Mornington. That was her first trial, so she'll actually have another trial again at Sandown next Wednesday. And we've got Timely Girl, who runs first up at Mornington on Sunday in a Class 1 race over 1,200 metres. That's on Peninsula Cup Day, so which is a fairly big meeting on that Sunday. Yeah, that's race 4, so she's got a good each-way chance. She's really primed to run well first up. We've also got our winner share in a horse raffle that's going, our annual raffle. It's $50 a ticket. There's only 70 tickets that we sell. It's drawn on Melbourne Cup Day at our function. There's 4 options of horses that you can get a share in if you win the raffle. So you can call me on 0416 105 666 to get a ticket before Melbourne Cup Day. As I said, that's $50 a ticket. And there's still tickets available for Melbourne Cup Day if anyone's interested. 150 for dream owners and 200 for guests. And it's all you can eat and drink for the day, which is included, so it's good value. Best on breeding, Lenny, for Derby Day. Great day with things bred everywhere. So.
Yeah. Race 2, Tiamo Grace, Dave. She was a $50,000 purchase from the Premier Yearling Sale by a Victorian Derby winner and Monaco Console, Annabelle Marianne Cecile. This is a really deep international group winning family in France and Ireland, excelling at the mile to 2,000 metres. This filly is beautifully bred for the 2,000 of the Wakeful and the Oaks.
My value bet is in the same race, race 2, number 1, Miss Rock. I just thought she was the classiest filly in this race. I'm just going to forget about the run last start in the 1,000 Guineas, which was a Group 1 race and obviously full of the best 3-year-old fillies going around. They didn't really come from the back that day and out wide. They couldn't really make up the ground that you wanted them to make up. So just going to forgive her. I think Robbie Lang's also said that he may have worked her a bit too hard before that run. So she's a filly that I think doesn't need as much work. I think she'll enjoy getting out to the 2,000. I think she'll enjoy Flemington. And if you forgive her for her last start and you look at her run before that, I think the $8 that's on offer at the moment is really good value for her in the Wakeful. It is a race that tends to be the class filly can get up and get you a good price. Yep. On the bit special, Lenny, who are you on the bit with this week, mate?
Dave, I found it pretty hard to follow, to be honest. Big fields at Flemington, so I went to Moonee Valley on Friday night. Yep. Race 6, Miss Vista. She's a flashy mare with a big ball in face. Probably went a bit hard within herself first up. She strikes a really weak 9.55 here. Liked her trial. They got her to settle a bit better at Cranbourne the other week, and she finished off really good. And I think if a rider like that and don't go helter skelter on her, I think she'll be winning easily. And you can get even money about her on bet 365. So that's where I'll be going.
Get you a bit of a bang for Derby Day. I'm on the bit with Flemington Race 1, number 3, Morton's Fork. Yeah. I think this colt has massive upside. Absolute certainty beaten last start. Will appreciate the wide open spaces at Flemington. he'll just sit off the pace, and all he needs is clear running this week, which he didn't get at all last start. I think he'll stretch out, and I think he'll show everyone how good a horse he is. I think you'll get everyone off to a good start for the cut. We'll go hard, load up, get a bank, $4.40 on the bit.
Yeah, good on the bit, that one.
Off the bit, Lenny. Who are we laying on a hard Derby day?
Valentino.
Notice you're laying my tip.
And he's not even favourite, he's second favourite, and a long price at that. But I can't come into him, not off his last run. Like, I know he just didn't go the Sydney way. I think he had his birthday. He was primed to win that day at Flemington. Not often you see a horse at the top of the weights in the old Emirates, or the Cantola, they're calling it now, win that race. I think he's going to have his work cut out. There's a few lightweight chances in that race that pretty well credentialed that'll really be there in the firing line. So, yeah.
Well, I'm off the bit with one of your tips, mate. With race 6, number 1, First Seal. I'm off the bit with First Seal. I just think sometimes she comes up favourite a lot of the time. She can get beat a bit. She's only 1 from 3 at 1,600 metres. I know she's drawn a nice barrier in barrier 1, but I think there's a couple around her from Sydney that have come across that meet her just as good on weight, and especially, as I said, Dixie Blossoms. And I just think they'll beat her home, and she'll definitely be one of the ones in the finish. But I don't know if she's as good as what we have said in the past when she was beating Winks in the early days.
Yeah.
So for mine, she was the one she raced and won last start, but she was in the right position last start, and there was a couple that were good behind her that I think will improve as well. So I'm going to lay First Seal, and I think she's off the bit. But it's a fantastic day's racing.
Oh, terrific.
There's only, 2 more sleeps from when we're taking this, but great day. Hopefully see everyone out there. It's going to be 24 degrees, and we'll see you for the final day, which is Emirates Day. Good luck.
Cheers.